Yo, what's going on, guys? Welcome back. Today I am actually going to address the CVE scare, if you will, right? I'm going to talk about it, talk about my opinions on it, and explain why I waited to do a video on it, and kind of just deep dive into it if you don't know anything about it, and then, discuss some of my thoughts on it, right? So, a couple of things. First off, thank you guys for the support. We're almost to 25K subs, so thank you. If you guys haven't checked out the Patreon's growing. We're getting a good community in there. Check it out. You get all kinds of more benefits, more videos, more content. We do, happy hours, and you get more live streams. You get more videos. Like I said, you're going to get resume reviews and mock interviews, all that stuff. So please check it out, guys. It is growing, and I'd like to see it continue to grow so we can have a good community in there as well where we can discuss a little bit more advanced topics. So first things first. The CVE thing, if you guys aren't familiar with it, I'll give you basically a rundown, right? So there is a database, and let's see, I think there was actually a link to it here. Here we go. This is a centrally managed database, right? So this is, oh wait, never mind, hold on. That's a common weakness enumeration, but like we'll just go to, like this is a CVE, right? So there's the database that we're looking for. So you can go in here and search for CVEs, right? CVEs are critical vulnerabilities and exposures, and basically what you're able to do is you're able to go through and you're able to search for when a new vulnerability gets reported, somebody uploads it on there, you can see it, and now you can say, okay, I might be vulnerable to this, let me fix it on my system. So a lot of companies, I would say globally, almost every company at least knows what it is. Most integrate it in some way to their vulnerability management and things like that. So now we know what a CVE is, right? Well, break it down a little further. This MITRE has funding for this to where they're able to, the government pays for them to keep this up, and basically it allows them to keep up with this, right? Because it is a full-time job. If you've never got a feed that shows the CVEs coming out, it's quite a bit. I mean, it could be 10, 20 a day, right? So there's quite a few CVEs in there, and you can see there's there's a ton of CVEs. So if you go to CVE list and just look at, I don't want to look at that. We'll just search wildcard, see if it actually, or just search blank and just see. Okay, there's nothing with blank. So let's just do Heartbleed, right? Because that was a big one back in the day. There you go, 2014. So you can see, you can search and you can find. So if you have an application, you can search for vulnerabilities, see if you're vulnerable, all that jazz, right? Great tool, has API integration, all kinds of stuff. So long story short, this has been funded for around 20 years. So with the whole budget cuts and everything else with the government, the contract was coming up and people were losing their minds, right? People were saying, John Hammond's an example. His video here, cybersecurity just got effed, blah, blah. So first thing I'm going to talk about is I actually really like John Hammond. If you guys watch my videos, if you guys are in my Discord, I talk about him quite a bit about how I appreciate what he does. I think he's really good. I hate this video. I'm just going to say it. I'm going to stand up for it. I'm going to say it right now. I hate this video. Why? This is a scare tactic that a lot of people, media, collaborators, all that stuff threw out here. They panicked and said this, basically, cybersecurity is screwed because they're not going to fund this, which means people are not going to have CVEs and da-da-da. And that is just disingenuous for two reasons. One, if you've ever worked in government in any capacity, you know that contracts like this coming up to the last day is not uncommon at all. At all. Okay? Go look at what a continued resolution is, right? It happens all the time. The military doesn't get funded, and then they continue resolution until the budget gets approved. Same thing here. They are critiquing funding right now. So what'd they do? They said, hold on, don't sign this until we can look into it. And what'd they do? Exactly what almost always happens. They basically extended the contract, right, for 11 months. And on the last day, they extended the contract and they said, okay, we're going to now review this, right? And see if we want to sign it. So this is just disingenuous. That's what it is. It's people saying, let me use this to gain some views, get some clicks. And that's, you know what? I'm just going to say, I think that's what John Hammond did here. I think he saw an opportunity. This is big news. He's going to make it out to be how it's going to destroy the industry. And then, you know, people are going to say, oh, wow, what a hero. Thank you, blah, 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 right? And maybe that wasn't his intent. Maybe it wasn't. But that's what the media's intent is here, right? Is to, hey, thank you so much. You guys all saved the CVEs and all this other crap, right? That's just not realistic, right? You think that the government said, don't fund that, and then all the media hit it, and then the government's like, actually, no, fund it now because the media said so? That's not how it works. That's not how any of it works, right? The reality is what happened is they were critiquing funding, right, as they are right now, and the contract was up, and they said, okay, well, let's see if we can get a deal done, probably. They couldn't get a deal done, probably, so they said, okay, we'll extend to keep negotiating this contract. That's how almost every government contract works. They always do this. This isn't uncommon, and people are acting like this is so uncommon because of the criticality of the CVE database, and I understand it, but it's a scare tactic, and I don't like it. I'll just say that I don't like it. You can see here, like, we appreciate the overwhelming support for these programs and blah, blah. The government has funded it for 20 years. The U.S. government. How about this? You think if the U.S. government said, I'm not funding this anymore, CVEs just die? That's not real either, right? Maybe this website doesn't exist or doesn't keep getting updated or something, but a couple things can happen. One, another company buys it. Two, you just stand up another site that's similar. Three, they're not the only company that tracks CVEs. They're the ones that get them reported, right? So another company takes over that responsibility, or another entity, another government agency, something, right? So to say that they would just die is just disingenuous. Would it cause a hiccup? It could, yes. But the reality is this wasn't going to die. Everyone freaked out and then said, oh, we saved it. And that's just not true. And so I really hate that. And I guarantee this video is going to get a lot of hate. People are going to disagree with me on a lot of things. They're going to say, you don't understand this, you don't understand that. I understand history, right? And historically speaking, this is super common for government contracts. So in no capacity did it make sense to freak out until that government contract expires and we know what happens. Because look at every year the funding does this. So not with this specific framework, but it does this, right? Or with this specific CVE database. So for me, it was a way to take big news, blow it up, get a lot of views, get everybody panicking, get everybody talking, right? Put pressure on the government, because now the government's saying, now all these people are putting pressure on them and saying, you're critiquing funding, you're cutting funding, right? In my opinion, it's a political move. I don't care about what side of the house you're on, whether you believe this or that. I don't really care. But this is obviously a political move where they said, let's put pressure because they're cutting funding and this will ruin cyber. So we have to put pressure and say that, look what the president and look at what politics are doing. They're cutting everything. They're ruining cyber, right? That's not true. And it's disingenuous, and I hate that. Just tell the facts and be honest. Don't sit here and say cybersecurity is effed. Don't sit here and say that because of Donald Trump or somebody else that they're now not, there's no CVEs anymore. They're not, that's not true. And I hate that. And you guys can disagree with me. You guys can say whatever you want. I don't really care. I don't even care if this video gets views. I just have to say this because it's frustrating to watch, because there's so many people that are pushing this agenda that know the truth, which is that this isn't uncommon, that the CVE database is just another funding that's getting critiqued. It doesn't mean it's going anywhere. It just means, hey, let's look at this. You should want to look at this, in my opinion. You should want to look at any money going out. Like, that's, any company does this, so it's not uncommon, right? And I think they got a bunch of quotes. They got a bunch of people all riled up, right? And like people like this, I can say that I've been in this industry longer than CVEs themselves. It won't be good, right? Yeah, you're right. It wouldn't be good if CVEs go away or if they're not funding to the point of nobody's tracking them. That would not be good. You're right. But that's not the case here. It never got cut. There was never a lapse. There was an option in the contract for this, actually. And that's what they said they actually worked on, is they put that option in place where they said, we'll extend it for 11 months while we work through this, right? That's normal business. That's normal operating. So I know I'm on my soapbox here, but this is right here. The security industry needs to step in to fill the void. Yes, if there was a gap, the security industry would have stepped in and filled that void. You may not think that, but look at his history. Every time there's been an opening like that, somebody stepped in, right? Metasploit was a tool that was genius, right? Rapid7 bought them, right? Why? There was an opportunity. So now they fill that void, right? There's going to be those voids filled everywhere. Someone's going to step up. And the reality is this whole thing was just a cluster of misinformation, inaccuracies. I'm not even telling you the factual information that's like deep diving. I'm giving you the basics. You can go deep dive into it if you want, but it's just not accurate. I don't like the way they're portraying it. I don't like that they're saying all this crap about, whatever. In my opinion, it was a political push. It's a political agenda that they're trying to push to make you go, hey, look what he's doing. The president's ruining this stuff. I don't really care which side of the house you sit on. I don't care if you're right, left, not even American. I don't care. It's just not true. And I would really appreciate you guys to do your own research and say, let me look into this, right? Let me look at, historically speaking, do these contracts normally lapse like this? And yes, they do, right? And it makes sense in this time of critiquing to do this, right? So do I think this is going anywhere? No, I don't. I think a lot of security practitioners spoke up and said, look at the value this adds, and I think that's good. I have no problem with someone saying, look at the value this adds. This is a not detriment. This is necessary in our industry. It's necessary for the globe, and it's necessary for everybody, right? I have no problem with that. Where I don't like, and again, I like John Hammond, but John, in my opinion, if you ever watch this video, this isn't what you do. This is clickbait. Cybersecurity just got effed. That's just clickbait. It's him getting to the point of where he's probably doing YouTube full time with, he probably owns a consulting company or something, and he does this full time. And he said, this will get a lot of views. Let me talk about it, right? And I understand why he did it, but it frustrates me to no end because this is my realm, right? Not that when I say my realm, I'm talking about government and military and contracting and stuff. I understand. I've been around it enough that I understand it. I don't know if he has or not. I don't really care. But I know enough to say you probably knew cybersecurity is not effed. You probably did this because you knew it'd get clicks. And it's not accurate. I don't appreciate titles like that where you're trying to get a rise out of people and you're trying to and he could have completely done this without any ill intent, without any harm. He probably thought, hey, this will get a lot of views. It's big news right now. Let's hit it, right? But when you do that, you have a responsibility to be honest. You have a responsibility to not have to raise people's emotions to a point of intent, right? And I think he may not have consciously thought that, but he did that. And I have a real problem with that because when you're reporting this way, when you're doing these things, you're not thinking about the consequences, which are you just pushed a political agenda, whether you meant to or not, that says, hey, basically, right, because funding's cut, cyber's screwed. And that's not accurate. It's a misinformation. I don't like misinformation. Report the facts and move on. Don't use clickbait titles. Don't use clickbait. That's why I never want to do YouTube full time. That's why I tell you guys again and again, I won't do it full time because I don't ever want to do that. And that's what you need to do. You need to play the game. right, to become that big. And I think John is very skilled. I think he's very intelligent. I think this may not have been intentional, right? And it may have just rubbed me the wrong way. It didn't rub anybody else the wrong way, and that's fine. I'm just giving you guys my facts, my opinions, my viewpoint on it. And so really this is just a way for me to vent, to be honest with you guys, to tell you why I never thought it was going to be an issue. I never freaked out. I waited to make a video on it because I waited to see what actually happened, because I knew this would probably be exactly what happened. I had discussions with people around me, and they asked me the same thing, and I said, it'll probably get extended, right? It's very common. That's what happened, and here we are. 11 months from now, guess what's going to happen? The same thing. Everyone's going to be up in arms about it, and then they'll probably figure out a contract, and they'll say, okay, we either extend it again or we figured it out. We now sign the contract, right? Then everyone will be like, okay, let it die down a little bit. And then the next big thing will come up, right? So I want to give you guys my take on it. I want you guys to also, there's a lot of people outside the U.S. that have very strong opinions on this. And I understand why. It's a very critical piece of cybersecurity. But if the U.S. is funding it, unless you guys are going to throw your money into it, I don't really understand how you can argue with them, right? It's like me going to Amazon and being like, Amazon's not going to keep doing their store online, right? I can be frustrated, but I don't have a say in how you run your business, right? And so it's one of those things like that kind of is weird, because it's like it's funded, but it's by the government. And so it's like the government doesn't owe anybody to keep maintaining that, especially when it's actually used by more private than it is. I mean, it's used by public too, or government as well, but it's used by a ton of private and public companies. So everybody's profiting off this except the government. So I don't really see the big outside influence on that, but that's not even really a big thing. I'm just talking now. But I want you guys to understand, this comes from a passionate place because I appreciate these people. These are people I look up to. These are people I respect in this field. And to see that like sellout mentality of like, let me throw things out to get views and stuff like that, I don't like that. I think it's a sad reality of this game, of the content game, and it sucks to see some people that like you've looked up to for years and years, that they get to that level and decide that's what they're going to do now. And you know, and I hope one day if I ever do something like that, someone calls me out on it, because I don't want it to. There's times, like I said, I don't have. This doesn't change my opinion on John Hammond. It doesn't change my opinion on anybody else. It makes me believe that he probably thought that's what was best at the time. I don't think he has malicious intent. I don't think he has ill will. I don't think he's a bad person. I think I disagree with this take, and it frustrated me. And I think maybe he just didn't read the room right, or maybe I read the room wrong and I'm wrong here, right? But this is my opinion, my viewpoint, my thoughts on it. And so take that with what you will. I'm no more of an expert than John Hammond or Joe Schmo down the road. I have a educated opinion on the matter. So does he, but it doesn't mean I'm right. Doesn't mean he's right, because I'm very clearly stating this is my opinion. So let me know what you guys think. Let me know your guys' opinion on it, and let me know in the comments, do you guys agree that this was a terrifying time, or do you agree that maybe people should have waited and let it figure out what's going on before freaking everybody out? Thanks, guys.